Can I completely change gears on you for a second?
Sure.
I need advice on a real estate deal.
Sure.
This is the deal I mentioned when I was in your office.
Yeah.
And so we went and saw it. I'm like, I want to make an offer on this. And our broker was like, that's great. I think your next step is to talk to lenders to prove these numbers and see what's possible from a lending perspective.
Yeah.
So I talked to Chad Highland at
Bellwether. Yeah.
Bellwether, and there's some banking contacts that I've talked briefly with, but I think Chad in like 20 minutes laid out this is basically what's possible. And big picture, there's no way what they're asking it's not financeable, right? But they've done such an over the top nice job with this property. It's ridiculously nice inside. Historical renovation, whatever awards. It's amazing. I'm under no delusions of paying asking price, but I feel like it probably will sell beyond what is normally financeable by somebody who's just going to find, maybe they're willing to put in a little bit of extra cash to make it happen.
Yeah.
But even that aside, what are some creative ways, and I can give you the actual numbers if it helps, but what are some creative ways that you're seeing deals getting done, or how would you be thinking about this given that situation?
I would think about, you have the traditional like seller carry, and that can be structured on a term, like 5 years or something like that. And I'm getting evil eyes because we're going to be going to our holiday lunch here soon. But so you could do seller financing, or you could do a new joint venture. But the only thing with that is where they become your LP, because oftentimes the lender won't allow a second note. Like after the great financial crisis, lenders wouldn't allow second mortgages or second notes by sellers. They wouldn't allow seller carry or seller carry.
When you say LP, what does that mean?
Limited partner. So what I'm thinking is maybe what you could do is form a new partnership, theoretically, with the owner, in which they leave a portion of the purchase price in as equity, probably bridging that gap between what the lender's willing to do, their purchase price, and then your amount that you're willing to bring to the table.
Yeah.
And then in that way, you have, 5 years to improve the economics of the deal and to buy them out. So that could be something. If their note is such, I guess it depends on what the seller's motivation is. If they just want the cash and don't want anything to do with the deal, then there's not really that much possibility for creativity. But if they're willing to be creative, that's how you can probably present them with some different options to buy the deal. And that would be, the other thing you could do is like a wrap, where you leave their current, a wrap or a master lease with a purchase option. A wrap deal is where you buy it for, let's call it $1 million. They're all in at, their loan is like 600. And so there's a remaining 400,000. Well, if you come in with 200, they're going to keep that 200 in the deal as it's like a non-recorded mortgage. So that's a way to do it. It just depends on what their loan docs say and if they're allowed to convey it like that. It's similar to AITD, all-inclusive trust deed. That's what that's called, I think. And then you have a master lease with a purchase option where you just come in and lease it. And you receive, in that case, you would receive all of the rental income, and then you just pay them essentially what amounts to a mortgage payment, but it's a lease payment. So it's a master lease, and then you have a purchase option. So you have, and then the way you would structure that is that your payments, it depends. You could, because your payments could be interest only, or they could go towards the purchase price. And if I were you, I would want them to go towards the purchase price.
Are there firms that help put those kinds of deals together? Do you need to talk to a law firm, or this is just
It would be a real estate attorney who is familiar with creative financing.
Do you know any of those people?
Calabrese might be a good one to talk to because he's a title company. He owns a title company, so I'm sure he's seen a bunch of different ways to do it.
He'd
Do
be
you
a
know
good.
Rob? Do you know Rob?
Yeah, enough that I can reach out to him. I think.
Yeah. If not, I did a deal where it was a seller carry, but it was positioned as a joint venture. I think before you do a lot of explanation about things, or exploration of things, you got to figure out if they're willing to play ball.
Right.
And I suspect that they probably are.
I don't think they're stupid. I feel like they have to know something like this is coming. Like that.
Especially at the price that they're at.
Exactly. There's no way. They're asking 3.9. It's even if we increase rents to market rents and start charging for parking and include revenue from a rented condo, which is currently not rented. Even with all those things, we could probably get approved for financing on a purchase price of between 2.5 and 2.8 million, and they're asking 3.9. So it's, yeah, there's not.
The other thing though is don't fall in love with the real estate and don't fall in love with the real estate and don't get into a deal that you can't repay. That's something that you want to be careful of.
Yes, I would. I think that is sound advice. I know you got to get to your lunch, man, so I'll let you go.